We're here at Westfield in Stratford. Now, I am going to be meeting Ben Foster, goalkeeper for Watford FC. Now, he started the podcast, the Fozcast. Now, his nickname is Fozzy, that makes sense, doesn't it? And he is a YouTuber, but we're here today because we've got a very special opportunity to talk to him about the podcast, but I'm going to take a pen against Ben. Now, before we find out how I do, let's talk to him.
We're here today because this is the launch of the Fozcast, our podcast, so we are officially now with Spotify, so all the audio exclusively on Spotify, and it's just like a bit of a launch event really. It's just nice to come down and see everybody, like I say, get a chance to face some penalties from some people as well. So there's quite a few kids about as well. There's a load of kids on like school tours and stuff like that, so they're all buzzing as well. They've got to see it all, which is quite nice.
I heard one kid over there thought you were Cristiano Ronaldo. How's that make you feel?
Mate. I would take that all day long. I'm going to live with that one forever. Buzzing.
So let's talk about the podcast. Why did you start doing it in the first place? Because when you started, not many footballers had done one.
It was just, you know what? Obviously, off the back of the Cycling GK, the YouTube channel, we had met so many people in that space, anyways. That we thought, do you know what? Just something different. Do you know what I mean? Footballer doing a podcast with other sports people. They might be YouTubers, they might be actual footballers, but it's just a different angle. It's kind of something where I feel footballers might feel a little bit safer doing it with me. Do you know what I mean? Because I think sometimes you'll get a sports person and they're a little bit guarded when they're with somebody. They don't want to say something that sounds a bit funny. But I having obviously been a professional footballer myself for 20 years, I understand how you can say things and how you can angle it and stuff like that. And I just think people, footballers especially, feel a little bit more comfortable talking to me about it. So yeah, we started it up and it just went from strength to strength. We found that we've actually really enjoyed doing it. At the end of the day, you're just talking for like an hour and a half. That's all you do. Like, imagine that, just talking for an hour and a half. And that's what it is. You get to find out some interesting facts and figures about these people, and long may it continue.
Yeah, one thing you said in one of your podcasts is that, you know, before the Man United game this season, you said, well, they're beatable, and you got a lot of stick for that. But you can sort of explain yourself, and it's a calmer environment, isn't it? And you've got loads of guests on, and you can just relax a little bit.
Exactly that. It's literally that. Like, we're not the sort of podcast that's going to go trying to find out the dirty secrets of this, that and whatever. That's not what it's about. It's a general football chat, and like I say, the fact that I've played football for 20 years, I know the little intricacies, I know what goes on behind closed doors. Like, most of it I show on the Cycling GK anyway, but like the footballers know that what I'm talking about, so then they'll give you a little bit more as well.
So what are some of those stories? What's your best one that you've heard on the podcast?
Oh God, that's a really good question.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, you have put me well on the spot. I've got to say, we had Aaron Ramsdale on. It was probably about 4 or 5 months ago. But not necessarily one individual story, even though he had many of them. Honestly, he had loads of stories. Like, he had played at Leeds a few weeks earlier, and they were throwing coins at him. So he's in the game and they're just chucking pound coins at him. Pound coins, like not just like 2p's or something, actual pound coins. He said at the end of the game, like, he went around and collected them all up. 17 quid he had collected, 17 pound. Gave it to the kit man, he was buzzing. The kit man was over the moon kind of thing. But I think just talking to Aaron Ramsdale and the way that he approaches not only football but life as well is so refreshing to see, because you've got to remember, he's still only a young kid. He's like 23, 24 years old, but he's got the most level-headed, calm outlook on not only football but on life as well, and it was incredible to see that of somebody that age having that ability.
Yeah, well, now let's talk about penalties. You have the record for the most saves.
Joint record.
Sorry,
yeah.
Getting ahead of
That's
myself.
That's fine,
there.
It's still my record. I'm still at the top somewhere.
Well, you have the most saves, joint most saves.
Yeah.
Now, what is the secret? Is it 50% research, 50% in the moment, or more one than the other?
It's a bit of everything, because you have to do your research. If you don't do your research, then you're starting on a bad foot to start with. But I think there's a lot to be said for just going with your gut feeling at that moment in time. Do you know what I mean? You might try and pick up some little tally, you might look in a corner, he might twist the ball. It could be anything. You've got to sometimes go with your gut, all right? The thing is, though, I know when we play, say we played Man City last week, for example, Jesus got the penalty, and the second the penalty was given, one of our players came up to me and went, he puts it to the left. Another player came up to me and said, he puts it to the right. And I'm like, my God, what am I supposed to do with this? So I think a lot of the time, you've got to just go with your gut feeling.
Talking about pens, who's your favourite person that you've saved a penalty against?
Oh, that's good, yeah. I did save a Steven Gerrard penalty once, away at Liverpool, at the Kop end. It was 0-0, it was about the 70th minute. big save, and we went on to win the game 2-0 as well. So that's up there with one of my favourite saves probably ever, to be fair.
Who was that for?
Stevie G. It was for West Brom. So it was away at Anfield, saving it at the Cop End was pretty cool. If I had to pick one person to take a penalty for me, it's Troy Deeney all day long. Troy Deeney, he don't mess about. That's how I want to see a penalty taken. Get your boot through it as hard as you can. Yeah, if the goalie gets in the way of it, you'll take him with you as well. Don't care, just put your boot through it.
Right, just before we get on to some quick-fire questions, what will you be looking out for when I take a penalty?
I will be looking out for your body shape, and I'll look at how stiff you look, and you look like you're quite stiff, all right? So if you're stiff, it means that you probably just put it in like the far corner kind of thing. If you're nice and loose, you might be able to open your hips up and wrap your foot around it. So I'll just see how you move and how you walk over there, all right?
Well, let's see. Right, well, we'll go for some quick-fire questions. You up for that?
Yeah, let's go.
Right, okay. So, what would you have done if you weren't a footballer?
I wanted to be a policeman. I did when I was a kid. Like the idea of chasing after bad people just really intrigued me.
Save a penalty or score a goal?
Oh, I'd love to score a goal. I would love to, mate. I think I'm retiring. The second I score a goal, I'm retiring.
Promotion to Premier League or stay up on the final day?
Well, I'd stay up on the final day because I've been promoted to the Premier League through the playoffs, which was incredible. And I've also been relegated on the final day, and the relegation on the final day sucked.
Hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Most intimidating stadium you've played in?
Wolves away. They hate me. As an individual, they hate me. So they give me dog's abuse all game long.
Dream guest on the podcast?
Dream guest. Tyson Fury has to be up there. I would love to get Tyson Fury. And I love his outlook on life. I do. I love it. He's not about the glitz and the glamour. It's not his game. He's about what you are as a person and what you stand for. And I love that about him.
Yeah. The Gypsy King.
Yeah.
Right. Best player you played with?
Paul Scholes.
Best you played against?
Didier Drogba.
Worst career moment?
Paul Robertson scoring past me from about 90 yards. It's never nice when another goalie scores past you.
And a fellow England candidate as well.
Yeah, we were literally joining up with the England squad that weekend, that week, so not a great time for him to score either.
And finally, to end on a good note, best career moment?
Oh, best career moment is winning the League Cup with Birmingham City against Arsenal at Wembley.
Fantastic. Right, now let's go take a pen.
Come on then, let's see what you got.
I'm getting revenge. Come on. Watch this. This is revenge.